Hi, Avish. How's it?
Hi, okay, and you, bud?
Um, it's been a tiring week, along with seeing some good cricket. I mean, it was nice to see Ireland beating England. That was better than having to watch Pakistan choke a match that they should have won. But before we get into the Pakistan portion, because I want to at least have a little bit of joy talking about Ireland. So, yeah, what were your thoughts on that match?
Fantastic chase from Ireland. It brings memories of that 2011 World Cup when they chased. I think it was a similar score in Bangalore. It was 329, and hero was Sterling at the top of the order, and he played superbly. Took the English bowlers to all parts. I think Morgan's century for England was obviously overshadowed by Sterling's heroics. I mean, you never saw it coming, but I mean, the rate at which Ireland were scoring, I mean, it was so quick, and they were within the required run rate, and they 7 wickets, so quite comfortable and fantastic win for Ireland. This nation definitely deserves to play more international cricket because I think they're getting better and better. And it's a pity that it's only a 3-match series, because I wonder if it was 5 matches, it would be a little bit interesting.
Interesting you say that. I looked at Sterling, as you mentioned, 142 runs of 128 balls. And I know some people will say that this English side that lost to Ireland
Fantastic.
was actually pretty weakened. But then you can only beat the side that they play. And either way, I mean, Ireland have got a knack of upsetting teams. I remember that match against Pakistan in West Indies, and they've beaten, I think, who else have they beaten? Ireland, Pakistan, England, and I'm sure there must be other teams they've given scares. So, in a nutshell, I mean, that was a joy to watch on catch up. And yeah, I could
100%.
really. Hmm? Sorry, what you said?
100%. Look, you can only beat the side that you've been given out, and yeah, I mean, the media will obviously spin it around and say that what Ireland beat a weakened England team, or England lost because they fielded a weaker side. But if you look at the previous 2 games, Ireland were beaten uh, quite convincingly in terms of overs. So this was a big victory for Ireland, and one that, I mean, a lot of us didn't see coming. And congratulations to Ireland. Full credit to them. They really took this game to the scruff, and they showed their capabilities in international cricket, especially with the batting. You know, uh, Once their top players get in, they can be quite destructive. And we saw it in this match. I mean, look, given what England put out on the field, I mean, it was a fairly strong. I mean, you wouldn't say it was a very weak side, but I would say in terms of the bowling, missing one or two frontline bowlers. But I mean, they had their own plans. They obviously didn't expect to be beaten in the way that they did.
Yeah.
They just got to accept it, and Ireland is one for the future.
Yeah. And also England, I'm sure, are used to losing to sides that you never expect to do. Like I remember on a final note is the Netherlands in the T20. So I don't think it's anything new. I mean, England have lost to all these interesting sides, to put it politely. So, but it's good for world cricket.
No, it's not surprising at all.
I'm not trying to be horrible
No,
to
it's it's
England,
it's
but
it's, it's
it happens.
wonderful for international cricket.
Yeah.
Uh, when you got mineral teams that are actually giving the established teams, a run for the money, and actually beating them. It
Yeah.
it it
And
it grows
England
the
seems
game
to be
because
one
at
of
the
those.
moment,
Yeah.
uh, Yeah,
Yeah,
it seems to be just all about 10 teams, and we need more. We need more teams be competitive in cricket, and that's how the game is going to grow throughout the world.
yeah, yeah. Okay. After you've let me indulge myself with Ireland's win against England, now let's get to the real stuff, the Test cricket. England and Pakistan. Oh, I mean, I've been trying to digest it because it was so disappointing. I mean, I was thinking of it being a choke because Pakistan had the ball by the horn. They should have really won this Test match. Also, another thing, and I'm not trying to have sour grapes, but it just felt like match fixing possible. All these three, because any team in Pakistan's position would have had more of a chance winning than losing. I don't know. What's your take on
Look, watching this test match, this is typical Pakistan for you. Day one, day two dominated. Day three dominated. Day four, I just say fell apart in the last session. So this is definitely a game that Pakistan threw away completely.
it?
Especially a guy like Mastood, who made 156 in the first innings and ends up on the losing side. It's difficult to grasp as to how they lost this game, but I would say how they lost this game was in the second innings
Yeah,
batting.
definitely.
And we saw a bit of this inconsistency from Pakistan again, where
Yeah,
they had the pitch, but they didn't take the game. You know, uh, they, they they didn't control the game. I should have. 169 was below par in that second innings. I think that England a bit of hope because they obviously had to make 270 plus with 2 days to go, and a lot of teams these days would back themselves to chase that score. And Pakistan, they showed a lot of inconsistency in this game. There were a lot of good things from Pakistan,
mm,
and there were a lot of bad things as well.
yeah. I mean, I really thought England were on the losing end in the second innings, and they were five down for 100 and something. It wasn't even that much. And if I look at okay, let me just go to the scorecard on my phone. Okay, if I look at the second, sorry about this. Let's go into the second innings quickly. All right. Remember, they were five for 117. So technically, Pakistan had this, even despite the fact they played pathetically in the second innings. To put it more, it is what it is.
I think what makes England quite a formidable side at the moment is their depth in batting. You know,
Yes, yes.
and and,
That
and,
was
and there's
very
not a
good.
lot of teams out there that have that depth that England have, and a guy like Wokes, superb innings. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, I mean, I could give him the man of the match.
Yeah, yeah. He
I'm
was
not sure
given
who
man of the
was man of the
match.
match in this game,
Yeah,
but
he was man of the match.
Wokes, yeah,
Yeah,
no, superb innings from Wokes. I mean,
yeah.
uh,
He picked up
completely. I
wickets
mean,
and he
I
made
mean,
runs. So it was an all-round effort.
definitely surprised. Absolutely, superb innings for Wokes. I mean, he's proved he's a quality all rounder. I mean, I mean, the way he played,
Yeah.
some of those strokes. I mean, it was of a top order batsman. So he was quite comfortable with himself at the crease. Obviously the Pakistan bowlers fed him quite a few bad balls as well,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that contributed to it. But he showed so much composure in a difficult situation. With with, with,
Yeah.
with Butler. But I think these guys are quite experienced players at the moment. So I guess even if England were in a crisis, they know how to come out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think,
credit to Wokes, credit to Butler, credit to England getting
yeah, I
back in this
think,
game.
yeah, Butler's counter-punching really helped England because they really were down in the dumps. I mean, Butler's 75 runs of 101 balls was really great. I mean, as much as it was paining me to watch his counter-attacking, I had to also appreciate it because, I mean, I think this match, if I can remember, this was at where was this first match now again? I'm trying to understand where the location is for this first match. Oh, sorry. I'm a bit.
The next
Old
one is at
Trafford, yeah,
Southampton, I
yeah. It was
believe.
at Old Trafford, and Pakistan do play well in this ground, don't they? Old Trafford.
No, of course they do, and
That's why it
it
hurts
was
more.
a real shame that
Yeah,
yeah, it was. I mean, it was a real shame that they couldn't take on the advantage. I mean, they dominated this game for so many parts.
yeah.
I mean, even after scoring that 169 in the second innings, I mean, they had a lead of 277, and they had England on the ropes at 117 for 5. You would have thought one more wicket and then it probably would have been the end for England. But I mean, that partnership between Wokes and Butler I just simply took the game away from them,
Yeah.
and I think it showed a bit of it showed inconsistency
And also, they
from
can't
Pakistan. It showed a
handle
bit
the
of
pressure when they've been given it back at them because when England started to counter attack, then they just fell apart.
yeah, that's correct. I mean, it was a bit of how do I put it? A bit of recklessness from Pakistan, and you get this a lot from them sometimes. Where they just give the opposition a way back to the game, and that was a moment when Wokes and Butler were decreasing, and they gave them too many boundary balls and released some of the pressure. But obviously the spinner Shah, he had a good game, but I felt like he was carrying the attack for a large part. I mean, uh, just not enough penetration at the end to get the victory. So they just didn't have that killer punch at the end. And it's difficult now because
Because
Pakistan
it's
is a very
volatile.
unpredictable team. I mean,
Yeah.
they're volatile, they're unpredictable. I mean, you really don't know what you're going to get from them. I mean, they could rock up in the next match and win that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, but
And also because of this
it's
loss, it could be quite deflating. I mean, another team, like
definitely.
other teams can bounce back, but this I feel would be a bit of a kick in the backside for Pakistan. I mean, like, they could easily just lose this series. How many matches on the series? Three, isn't it? So if it's three matches, they will probably lose this 3-0, or if they're lucky, they might just scramble the last match. Then it'll be like a 2-1, which is more flattering because it's pretty depressing. I mean, I'll probably watch it on catch up, as I usually do, but yeah, man, so much depression in life, and Pakistan had to add to it. Oh yeah.
Look, it's definitely a must-win game for them. I mean,
Hmm.
if they,
But then, do you think they're gonna pull it off?
but as I'm saying,
Yeah, you were saying about
no, I think Pakistan. Look, Pakistan is a side that a lot of times they end up losing from winning positions and
mm,
winning from losing positions. So they're a very difficult side to obviously plan against, and I think that's what makes them dangerous sometimes. But that can also be their downfall at times as well. So you're not going to get a Pakistan side that's going to be consistent throughout the series. There's going to be one or two bad performances here and there, and there's going to be a good
yeah.
performance, yeah, in it as well. So
But then now that
it's
I've
a
thought about
difficult
it
side to
now, but now that
win
I've thought
against.
about it,
Yeah,
this defeat could also motivate Pakistan to play really well, so that they can equal the series, and then hopefully, if they can get a pitch that's dry, that'll suit their spinners, I think that would really go against England because I think they played two spinners in the first match, and I think in hindsight they didn't need to because Yasir Khan on his own is very good. I mean, they could have just played another paceman because the English did battle against paces as well. So, but then this is how I look at it. I don't know how you feel.
look, Pakistani's strength is obviously they quick ball, they fast bowling. So I think
Mm.
they got to go back to their strengths. We can have Shah there as a spinner. I mean, he's a perfect foil for the fastman. But I think they got to stick to their strengths.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
they had
fast bowling, especially left arm.
But they had two
arm
spinners in the
swing,
first
you know,
match, which was a bit
that's
strange. Yeah.
yeah, I know it was a bit straight, and it was probably a release for England as well in the second innings, where it became a little easier with the ball getting soft, and then Wokes and Butler stuck in, and there was no way back after that, So uh, you know, Pakistan, no matter what side they're going to play, they got to beware that this England side is not going to lie down and die, because as I say, they bat deep. So
Yeah.
no matter what the outcome, they're going to be fighting. They're going to be fighting right till the end. So there's a lot of batting depth in England at the moment. I think probably the one side in the world at the moment that's got batting right down to number 10. That's a luxury to have in these times.
Yeah.
It's also very important. So I think Pakistan, in a way, the top or in the middle order failed quite badly in this match. I think that there's a lot that we need to there's a lot to ponder on in terms of the batting. You can't just rely on a few players making runs. There's got to be a combined effort. It's they sort of team, like if you got them 70 for 5, they can quite easily crumble. So I think confidence is high with England at the moment, because they actually won a game where they were expected to lose in a way. So I think confidence can be quite high in the English camp, but Pakistan are going to be a bit deflated,
Yeah.
having lost this one and being in such a strong position. So they've got to lift themselves up, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, the next test is starting tomorrow, so it's not going to be easy for them to lift
Yeah.
themselves up. But let's see what happens, because they're still a talented side, and of all the Asian teams, they won probably the most amount of test matches in England.
Mm.
I mean, with India and Sri Lanka. I mean,
Yeah.
not to mention Bangladesh, because I mean,
Yeah, and don't
but
get me on into
they've
India,
won
man.
quite a few
India
matches.
just depresses me, man, when I think about India and England, because India had lots of winning opportunities in England, and I think it's. I don't want to talk about India, but then tell me something. Going into the next Test match, because as you said, the next one is tomorrow, and do you think Pakistan is going to pull it off, or do you going to go with the bookies who are having England as a favorite?
Um, Look, my money is on England to win this one, but
Okay.
I mean, and I'd like to see a Pakistani upset, you know.
Yeah.
But I think England's strong favorites to take this one tomorrow. Given the balance of the side
Mm.
that England have at the moment, I mean, they're quite a settled team,
Yeah.
uh, right up the top of the order, and right down to the bowlers. They're quite a settled team. Pakistan, I'm not too sure. A little bit unsettled,
Yeah.
excuse me. A little bit unsettled. So we will have to see how things pan out. Obviously, Pakistan a much younger side as well, So they obviously got a couple of players that are quite young, like Nazim as well. Very
Yeah.
young youngster that was thrown into this game. So they obviously need to gain experience at this level. So
Yeah.
the only way to gain experience is by winning matches, and let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm hoping for a Pakistani upset. Yeah, England are strong favorites for the next match. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to, you have to be brave to go against England, but part of on the back of my head, I do feel Pakistan can also surprise. So I'm like 50-50. I mean, okay, I would say I'm still 60-40 for England, but if Pakistan win, it wouldn't surprise because subconsciously they have this ability to bounce back. They know to bounce back. I mean, I remember the 2000. I remember the last World Cup, they were playing pathetically, and then when they're under pressure to win so many matches in a row, they seem to do it. And I think it was their bad luck that when they lost to West Indies dismally, it ruined their World Cup chances, and then it would have been really exciting. But anyway, that's a story for another time. And yeah, that's how I look at it. I think it's
interesting you say that, because I think they perform best when they got their backs to the walls. So you can say, I'm not saying they got their backs up. They're probably down and out here now, so they need to step it up. So they're quite a dangerous side, and I think England have got to be very wary. They cannot underestimate this team. This team has talent. We've seen it over the years. They do have talent. So
yeah.
they're not a side to be underestimated, because we saw in the World Cup. We did see in the World Cup. They've got the ability to beat good teams. So don't be surprised of a Pakistani upset in this game, yeah. But as I say, England favorites in the moment. I'd probably go 60-40, close to what you're saying, 60-40 in England's favor. But anything's possible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to check something on my phone because I read something this morning. I was trying to remember something. Oh, that's interesting. I thought Babar Azam had come number one in the Test match batsman rankings, but now when I look at it on my phone, it still says Steve Smith, followed by Kohli, then followed by Marnus Labuschagne. It said that Babar Azam is number 6, but I don't know if that's right. Unless if my yeah. But either way, I mean, I know Nasser Hussain had made a comment on Babar saying that because he's from Pakistan, people don't give him a lot of airtime, and if he was from India, you would have got a lot of adulation. So, what's your thoughts on
That's very true. I think Pakistani players, for some reason, they obviously under the radar and are not given that much of publicity. But Azam is a quality player, absolutely contesting in all conditions. And I mean, we've seen him score runs against SA. We've seen him score runs against Australia. I mean, he's more than capable of scoring runs against England. So he scored runs all over. I mean, so he's very capable of getting a match-winning performance in under his belt. But very surprising as well not to see a South African in the top league.
Yeah, man, that's another story too for another time, man. Hey, South Africa. Okay, I've just looked at it. Oh, actually for the one dayers, he's number 3. Babar Azam is actually number 3 for the ODI, which is still impressive, and then he's number 6. But his Test match batting average is very, very good. I think it's around the mid. I forget his Test match batting average, but I'm sure you'll. People call him the next Virat Kohli, actually, Babar Azam, and there are similarities the way he plays. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing him bat.
Yeah, he's been quite prolific in the ODI format as well. I mean, his runs that he scored over the past year has been quite superb. I mean, he almost 10 international centuries. You can like oversee something like that. That's prolific in any format. And he scored runs all over. So you got to give him credit. He's a dangerous player.
Yeah, I just saw his average
Masood,
on the phone. It's 44.7, so that's a very good Test match batting average.
no, that's superb for a lot of players. That's an excellent average. I mean,
Yeah.
anything above 40
Yes.
is superb. Obviously, 50 is obviously on another level. Yeah, I mean, if you can maintain that average, I mean, it's gonna get as time on. So, as I'm saying, England are favorites for this game. But I mean, if they let their guard down and underestimate this Pakistan team, they could be in trouble.
Okay, on a final note, I know it's just early days into the series, but what do you think the scoreline will be at the end of the series after England's Test match win? Do you think it'll be 2-1, 3-0, or 2-0?
Okay, There's actually no shame, yeah. But my gut feeling says it's going to be 2-1 to England.
Okay.
And they're going to win a game. And they're going to regret not winning that first test match.
Yes. No,
So
but
it's going to be 2-1 to England.
do you think
2-1 to
Pakistan
England.
but do you think Pakistan is going to shave do you think Pakistan is going to take the last test match, or do you think they'll take the second test match?
I can't really say which test match, but I got a feeling they're going to win one of those test matches.
Okay.
And obviously they're going to get the first one, because had they won the first one, they would have won the series. So,
Wow, that's
they
quite
didn't have that
bold.
regret,
I
but they're
thought
going to
it
win
would
one of
have
those.
been. I thought it could have been at worst maybe a drawn series if Pakistan took the first one, or it could have been Pakistan winning the series probably in the decider or something. Because I think Pakistan are good when it's under pressure or something.
Look,
But
it's
anyways,
very difficult to get a draw these days. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
very difficult to get a draw. I mean, if we talk about a draw, I mean, you probably have to account weather and I guess the pitch has got to be really, really flat,
Yeah, and England
England
are not known for doing that
to have a
anymore. I
draw.
mean, they're very bowler friendly, which is
And
good. I mean, we have
England
enough
are not noticed
pitches
for
as it
draw,
is.
so I don't think the draw, but yeah, a 2-1 scoreline to Pakistan. I could be, playing devil's advocate, but I, I just have a feeling that they're just gonna regret losing that first test match, because they had the yet so long, and they threw it away on the final day. It just goes to show they can compete against a team like England in foreign conditions. It goes to show, I mean, how they play at home. They'd be quite formidable in their home conditions. So yeah, that's my prediction for the series.
Okay, and then on that note, I will definitely, well, if it's possible, we'll do obviously another video like this when this test match is when the following test match tomorrow is over, and then we'll take it from there, and then we'll hold for bated breath of a Pakistan win in this test match.
Look, I just wanted to add something here. If Pakistan do obviously win this next test match, which I believe they can, we set up for a cracker in the last one, and that could be a really tense one. I mean, it could go either way. So, I say England are favorites, slight favorites, because they're playing at home. They don't rule off Pakistan. I mean, they're the wounded tiger. They're so dangerous when they're wounded. So don't write them off.
Thanks for your time, my friend.
Thanks, man. Cheers. Take care.